move if you call me Aliyah. I was like, okay.
Yes.
Yes, Dato.
Yes, then we can actually have a better conversation, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah, otherwise I'm a little bit uptight when people call me Dato, and it's more like a formal setting.
Okay,
Yep.
so we're relaxed. We're enjoying some
food.
lunch.
Yes.
We're here at Le Meridian, one of my favorite spots, as you guys would know. Usually I go for the burger, but there's been some questions raised about how much burgers I eat. Thank you for those people out there concerned about health. So today we've gone with the fish and chips, some lovely fish and chips provided by our friends at Le Meridian. Dato, I really wanted to start the discussion today by allowing you to eat, of course.
Sure.
Dig in anytime.
Sure.
Is really, we talked about, there's two things coming up really. There's the changes in the MCO, the Movement Control Order, and the other thing is International Women's Day.
Yes.
Now you've been at the forefront of women's development for a long time.
Yes.
And you know what you're talking about. What is it that you see has changed in the last 18 months, especially because of COVID-19, for women, and what's good, what's bad, what's ugly, what's going on there?
Okay.
As I eat.
Yes. Please eat.
Yeah.
I think it's one thing that's been very obvious is women have come out to take lots of opportunities, right? Forced to take opportunities initially. See, when the COVID hit and the pandemic started, and the first 2 weeks, I think everybody was okay. Everyone was waiting for that 2 weeks. And I must tell you that the first day of lockdown was my birthday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so as a woman, lockdown on her birthday, no, it didn't go down very well with me, yes. Yeah. But having said that, so you see, I went down in history as well. And I was telling everyone as a joke that, when it's somebody important's birthday, you get 1 day off.
Yeah.
I'm giving everyone 2 weeks. Wow. And
well
then
done.
it extended,
Yeah.
right? So I said, oh, I'm giving everyone another 2 weeks.
And then they're like, where's that Dato Aliyah? I'm going to find her.
Yes. But I think soon everyone started to panic after a month. And I think everyone was thinking like, okay, what's going to happen now? And people started, I think the buzz was like, companies are going to close down, people are not going to have jobs. And a lot of people actually said if they were to let go, they would let the woman go first, because men's the sole breadwinner. You can be the sole breadwinner. Yeah.
I think I remember some of that stuff. Yeah, right? It wasn't very positive.
Yes, it wasn't.
Yeah, let's be honest. Yeah.
So that's something that was not good. But I think what started and spurred a lot of women was that they were worried about their kids. They were worried about financial stability. Right. So when push comes to shove, I think everyone started to see what else can I do besides the normal working thing that I was going to do, and then don't forget that a large number of entrepreneurs could not go out to work because you found the nasi lemak lady could not open stall, the dry cleaners couldn't.
I was upset about the nasi lemak lady,
I'm
let me tell you.
I'm sure, right? So all these aunties and people, hawkers, market traders, they were all women mostly, right? Small business traders. So I think that made them initially, although they suffered. But thanks to social media, what happened was someone here and someone there started to do some side business to get some side income. And then you had this other group of people who were trying to support and said, okay, like for example, myself, I was thinking, oh, that's a good initiative that someone's now baking cakes. And someone's down, so why not I buy the cake and send it to someone, right? So that became something.
I should have known you earlier, you know.
I would have sent you a cake.
Send me some cakes, you know.
I would have sent you a cake. I've been sending everybody cakes. Because you
There's a link down there if you need the cakes. Just, no, just kidding.
Yes, cakes, donuts, anything, you know. Yes, I'm known as the pay-it-forward lady, so I'm happily sending. But of course, I think that was something that made some of us really appreciate what we had and what we have. And to say, look, we're getting worried for them out there, right? Like, I was initially worried as well with everything that's going on, instability, people were losing jobs. And coincidentally at that time, the Yayasan Health on World came. We got the go ahead, we got the green light in May 2020. So very timely, and foundation actually advocates mental, emotional, and physical well-being.
Okay, good.
So there you went. Everyone was asking us, you know, can you give talks on mental awareness, on emotional resilience, right? And people were going into depression. Came October, PDRM issued very scary figures of the number of suicides, you know, 10 times the number, and things like that. So
was it more men or more women?
More
or
men.
More men.
More men.
Why is that?
More men. Men don't want to talk about it, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them, because all along when we grew up, we had fathers and brothers who were supposed to be tough, right? And you're not supposed to come back and tell your wife, I lost my job. You're not supposed to tell your kids here, like, I don't have any more money to send you abroad, right? So there was just a lot of unhappiness, a lot of question marks everywhere, like, what are we going to do? Are we going to lose our jobs? So I also started sessions, online sessions. The Tulips movement, where I'm an advisor, started sessions to reach out and talk to people.
Okay.
And
the tulip.
Yeah, Tulips movement is
okay.
Yeah, Tulips movement.
I've seen that logo. It's a lovely logo.
Yes, it's a tulip.
Tell us more about the.
Tulips movement was started
I
by.
eat more French fries. Dato, you have to eat some food.
Yes,
everyone's talking about the French fries. Hey James, great to hear from you as well. I can see all your comments.
Yes, I'm sure. Hi James. Okay. So I think what happened is Tulips movement was started about 2 years ago by men who Badri wanted to advocate and reach out to women in general. At that point of time, it was women in general, empowering women, giving them the platform to come out and do things, speak, put themselves out there. So it's initially started, you know, with that, and so we got this group of dynamic women, all volunteers, to come in with different areas of expertise. So I'm the advisor to the movement. So we did sessions with men. The first thing that we reached out after a month, 2 months after lockdown, was we had overwhelming response when we asked everyone to come and let's have a teh tarik and let's just chat and see what's happening. Where are you at? What else can you do? Then I realized that what we could do was we could start highlighting small businesses. Right? So we became the connectors. So people who had businesses came to us and we reached out via all the platforms that we had, the channels that we had. And then people started to say, because of my background in non-profit for so long, I have money, I don't know where to send this money to, can you? So we did our first thing of food bank. Right, so we raised in 5 days 24,000 ringgit.
Oh, amazing.
Yes, so we were so happy because we reached out to students who were stranded, who couldn't go back to Sabah Sarawak.
I remember.
Right, and we also reached out to the people in Chowkit.
Yes.
We reached out to people who were stranded at homes, family who were stranded at homes. And to a few, and to some of the non-profits, what happened was when they are having elderly folks and children, what they depended on was people to drop by with eggs and bread. And now with MCO, everybody could not go out. So there you go. You could not, shops were not open, there was no food, there was no bread, there was no groceries, nothing. So we then, you know, and we couldn't cross borders, right, at that point of time. So what we did was we found people who needed jobs, like Grab drivers, to say, okay, you go and do it in that area.
You can do it for us.
We found that nasi lemak lady in Kelana Jaya.
I want to know about this nasi lemak lady.
Yes, so we found a few nasi lemak ladies in Chowkit, here, there, and said, we'll give you business, you pack and you send in your area. So we identified. So I think that was pretty good because we did not just help one community, we helped the small businesses as well. We helped the Grab drivers. So I think we were on cloud 9, you know, that during that time because although the coordinating was not easy, but it was so worth it. It was really, really worth it.
Now, we're kind of going into the next phase and eat while I talk, you know, just like enjoy those French fries so James feels jealous. James, we will send you some French fries wherever you are. One thing that I've kind of always talked about is this idea of post-COVID. Because one, I just want everyone to think, okay, what does a post-COVID world look like? What does the future look like? And start planning for it now. Do you see it as a better place, or are we going to be faced with all kinds of problems? And you better say, yeah, it's going to be a better place, because it just ruins my whole pitch here.
It ruins our meal after this.
You know, what will be better, and where will we see that positive change?
Okay. It's a very good question to bring me back to my thoughts on what I've been sharing recently. I am confident that we are prepared now,
Okay.
right? Because we all positively, we keep saying we've gone through the worst. And we do see, especially now with the vaccine, we see some countries very well managed. New Zealand, Australia, borders are starting to open here and there.
Slowly.
Right,
Yeah.
slowly, yes. And we see the job market, the economy picking up a little bit here, there. People are starting to venture out again, right? So I think that's the good part about it. But what everyone should take note of is there are so many opportunities that we all overlooked in that many years.
Okay.
We only seem to focus on these opportunities the last 1 year when we had no choice.
Yeah.
Right? So when we were forced to, we went and looked for a small business to set up. When we were forced to, we collaborated and said, look, I can't do business on my own, let's collaborate.
Okay.
So I think that is going to go on. That will go on.
All right.
So you will see more collaborations. I believe that's the way to go. You will see more small businesses booming instead of large ones, because obviously everyone's worried with the economy, everyone's worried, do I need to shut down? So small businesses are safe, right? And I think you also see where there's a trend of what was needed, like now social media, IT.
Yes.
So these kind of things are places where people are now venturing into, right? So no longer the big stock market and things, people are getting worried.
Yeah.
So I think, and everyone's looking into, like, I do training and I say, do a SWOT analysis and see where your strengths are.
Okay.
So based on that, people are even doing art shows to sell their, paintings.
Yes.
Previously, they were demanding, give me a space in some hotel, some fancy places. Today, they are saying, I can put it on social media. I don't have a cost to run a gallery, and I can, bid it, and a little bit can go for charity. So people are being more adventurous, more creative. So besides looking at ourselves, we are also looking at the community at large, and that's good. That's good, because you see suddenly everyone's not just practicing charity, they're practicing humanity.
I like that. I like that. And I mean, we were discussing before the show, this idea of the role of women has changed. And I think it's just highlighted how important they are. And it kind of, although I wasn't around during that World War II area where, where the men had to go out and fight the battles, but then they were like, hey, who's going to run the factories?
Factories, yes.
Now the factory has kind of moved to the home.
Home.
And we see that, wives and mothers and single mothers and everyone else, they've become the home factory, and it's a box and everything in there. Women, your job is now this.
Right.
But it's not that simple, is it?
No, it's not, definitely. And I'm glad to see that many men are recognizing this. Again, that was not really, sometimes, the focus was not there, or it was an oversight, right? And afterthought, sort of, like when you go home, everything's done, and but that lockdown period and this last 18 months, if there's one thing that a lot of people have realized, is the role the woman played, the number of roles the woman played.
The number of roles,
right?
I'll
Because
be
they are a
if
mother, they
wrong.
are a wife, they are the chef, they are the cleaners, they are the people that iron, they are the people that get the household ready, and yet they do homeschooling for the kids at home.
It's like my wife, she's a full-time teacher now.
Exactly. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, she always volunteered, but now there's no, this week I don't feel like doing it feeling.
That's why I'm going to throw this to you and say, can you imagine if you had 3 kids, or can you imagine if she was a single mother, right? So how would that be? It would be even more difficult.
It's a lot of challenges.
Yes, and especially if they were holding small businesses. So businesses shut, they are single mothers. So I know of groups of people, women who got together and started to take business to a different level, putting businesses online. Right? Most people put businesses online. They even had trade fairs online. Now everything seems to be online. I think that's the way to go, and you will see a lot of it.
Good. I think it's good. I think it's good.
A lot of maneuvering. a lot of changes. And I think we need to be open and accept it.
What do you think won't change?
Won't change.
Won't change. Like, okay, now we're like very positive, you know, it's like, oh, the whole world's going to be great. You know, we're going to have more women entrepreneurs. Excuse me, women are doing a great job. What won't change? And without, you know, bashing, you know, you know, like the white guy, you know, but what won't change, or what will be, where will you see the most resistance to change in this kind of, in this reality?
I think when we talk about, let's talk about it on a whole new level of seeing things in a very different way. If we're talking about the gender, obviously this has changed, you know. I think with more acceptance towards women having more freedom to go out and do things and putting themselves out there.
Freedom or more responsibility?
Yeah,
it doesn't
but
sound
I
like
think
a
the freedom is also because they have been acknowledged.
Okay.
There's been so much of acknowledgement for women. I think that we have to give credit to companies, to industries, to the men behind, you know, who are giving the woman credit. And that gives you an endorsement that says, you know, I am somebody, I can go out and do something, right? So, and previously, bear in mind, when we're talking about World War II, women never came out to work. Right? Women, you're supposed to be seen, not heard sort of thing, just like kids. And your place is always in the kitchen. But today, women are flying here and flying there and leading. And, you know, I just read an article that says that India has the most women pilots in the world.
Yeah.
Right?
And the fighter pilot. I saw the fighter pilot. I was like, don't get in trouble about talking about women fighter pilots. Although my favorite movie is Top Gun, which is a very masculine movie. But go ahead.
So
right,
I think when we're talking about what won't change, majority everything has, if you don't change, I think you're going to be left, you know, behind. What won't change is we won't change our values.
Okay.
All right. If anything, we now have stronger values.
Okay.
What won't change is, I think, that relationships that we have. If anything, we are now stronger. The bond is even stronger. We're missing family. We're missing friends.
Yes.
Right. So those kind of things, I think, we are a little bit more appreciative of those kind of things now. So I don't think we will change from the way we look at people in general, what we need to appreciate, who we have around us. You know, other than that, I think when we talk about job opportunities, as much as we try to, we are very fixated, like it's back to the old times. I don't see it going back to the old times.
Okay. Now, speaking about old times and things that we did years ago, kids in Malaysia anyway have started to go back to school this week, and next week another batch will go, and then next month will be the high school kids.
Yes.
And how do you think mothers will be? You know, I'm sure there's going to be like...
Happy!
I'm really like, yes, thank God they left. But what changes, what kind of emotional things that you see women will go through? And I mean, for me, I actually love having my kids at home. You know, it's a wonderful thing.
You should ask your wife.
Hi, Sayan. You know, but but at the same time, how will we see women adapt to that? Will we see any problems in the next couple of weeks, or is it we've built some resilience, and there's resilience in the tank?
I was going to use that word.
Okay, good.
Right? I was going
glad
to
I
use
stole it first.
Yes, I was going to use that word because I think they are so used to this week school's open, next week school shut. Suddenly you're not going to school. Suddenly you're at home. Suddenly you got to do homeschooling. Look, mothers who never looked at their kids' homework, now sitting beside kids at home, right? They are learning. They are doing online learning or behind, watching and listening to what the teacher is teaching. So, whatever happens after this, whatever changes there are, we will adapt. No issues. It's like bring it on.
Okay. So
bring it on, whatever changes.
So ready to roll.
Right? It's just like how the MCO, RMCO, whatever happens, you say I can go, I go. You say I can't go. You know, I'm like, okay, I can't go there, but I'll go here, right? So we are quite used to this by now.
Okay.
So we are resilient. there's no point complaining about it anyway, right? What can you do? So I think, and women adapt even easier and faster, I would say, simply because they are forever on their toes from morning till night.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So if you say they need to stay home, they make the arrangements.
Yeah.
I know of so many wonderful women out there who's doing the same thing, including your wife.
Yeah, well, every once in a while I like to argue with my wife, but then after a while I realize, what was I thinking? There's no victory there.
Did you just say this live?
I fully agree that, no, because the reason why there's no victory in arguing with your wife,
because they were right in the first place to begin with.
And I can say that now because I've learned. But every once in a while I like to test my theory. And every once in a while I find out I was wrong. But I mean, all jokes aside and all fun aside, I think when we see the way women have kind of stepped up to the plate, it's kind of it's excellent, an excellent thing to see. And what I've seen is very positive, simply because it's just landed on their plate and they just deal with it.
Exactly.
You know? And that's kind of the exciting part for me. Now, International Women's Day is coming up next week.
Yes, it is.
What have you got planned? What's some of the things that you're doing? And your different NGOs all, I know we could do a whole show on next week as well, but you know, what have you got planned for that?
Well, I am speaking on some of the sessions. Let's start with Tulips Movement. Tulips Movement is recognizing women leaders and bringing them out in interviews. So we have our first one kicking off on the 8th itself. With Dr. Jake moderating or interviewing Dr. Yasmin. Hoping that everyone will see the resilience behind her, because you know she rank and file
wonderful
person.
Story. Yeah.
Yes, you know. So we are bringing some strong women up front. We are also bringing women out there who have not been recognized, but who have been striving the 1.5 years, the last 1.5 years in terms of business, small businesses. We're also bringing youth. Right, so future women leaders out there, giving the youth community a boost to say, look, you know, this is how hard you need to work to get somewhere. Like, don't give up, and there's so much of support out there. So obviously, from the Health on World Foundation point of view, we are busy because we're actually doing a conference in May. But what we have is we have one topic, one forum, especially for women with mental health care, and talking about women who have challenges, or the panel is just going to discuss, you know, what kind of issues that relate to women's mental health. Is it really men? We need to.
Is it my fault? A lot of cases
but then again, we practice equality, so we're also giving a panel to the men.
And this is the kind of my next question for you is also now. And I put this post up I think a week or so ago, and I completely forgotten that it was the Women's Day coming up, and it was really about listening. You know, I wanted to know what the problems were. Right. You know, so I said, okay, tell me what your problems. I have a bunch of thank you everyone who's commented also on that post. I really appreciate it. But one of it was how can we listen better? And my next question is, after we've listened, what should men do who are looking to make a difference to two sets of people? They should already be taking care of their wives. Let's just assume that takes place. For me, the role that fathers play with their daughters. I'm a big supporter of whatever my daughter wants. You know, I try to empower them in the direction that they like. And then for what can organizations do for their women employees and those young women coming into the workforce? What's the direction? What can we do?
Yes, I think you know, I did read that post of yours when you talked about this listening thing. Yes, I did. I'm quite sure I commented on it as well.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I'm saying now.
You're most welcome. But I think when you're talking about listening, yes, previously, one thing good about the pandemic is everyone was forced to listen because everyone's stuck at home, right? So you had no choice but to listen. But previously it was just a lot of noise. Today, I think if you really listen, there's a lot of substance, there's a lot of requests, there's a lot of opportunities, right, for women out there to voice. So my encouragement to women out there is sit down and voice out what is it you can do, take the opportunities, right, to say what you can do, not argue what you should be doing, but rather put yourself out there and say, look, I can do this. Even for women leaders out there, for youth coming in, and women in general, right? Speak up. Tell people what you can do. Tell people you want that opportunity. Go get it. Prove it that you can do it. Don't wait for it.
Positive approach to go. Just go for it.
Yeah, it's no longer like wait and see. If I'm given, then I will accept. It's no longer that. You have it, go out, and it's rightfully yours. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And if, I think you know you are the right person for the job when you go out there.
Yes.
So what's stopping you? Don't let anything stop you.
Okay, good. Dato, we've been chit-chatting for quite a while. And part of the problem is you haven't eaten.
Yeah, because I'm very busy
talking,
chatting.
Right? Yeah, that's good. But I want to let you enjoy some of your lunch, and I want to thank everyone for joining us today.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you, and really hope, by all means, share with us all your comments.
You've even got from Jakarta. You must be very famous.
No, you are the one who's famous. Thank you from
everyone.
Jakarta. I think thank you. I know from Australia and all over the place who've joined us today. Thank you, and thank you to the Meridian.
Happy International Women's Day, everyone, and especially to all the women out there.
Exactly, and thank you for all your contributions and your hard work, and we look forward to hearing more about your achievements in the coming days, months, and years. So
go out and get it.
Go out and get it.
Go out and get it.
And thank you very much, Dato Aliyah, for your time today. We will give you a chance to makan, as we say in Malaysia, makan
finally
dulu.
Makan,
Bagi dia makan, kesian dia. And then we let you.
Thank you, everyone. Go have your lunch.
Exactly.
And follow Nordin, because that's good conversations.
Thank you, Dato. So with that, we will see you again next week on a Working Lunch with Nordin, and we will enjoy the rest of our lunch, and you should do as well. Thank you.